If you're a hip-hop head, for a long time, you probably knew Donald Trump as one of rappers' favorite references.
Resurrection of the real time to get richer than Trump. I'ma fire my blunt like Donald Trump.
But for most of us, that Trump has been long forgotten, replaced, of course, with this guy.
Look at my African American over here. Look at it.
A little white, look. Let me put you up on game. We can all be unique if the mission is the same. Don't matter if you shoot ball or you gang bang. Doctor or lawyer, the skin color same. Red bone, dark skin, shit, we all the same. They only think of black before they ever see our name. Different shades of brown playing for the wrong team.
Alright YouTube, Tyree trolling back again. CEO, Clout Team Entertainment, best rapper on the YouTube, hands down. And man, look man, I was just thinking man, like this video is long overdue, right? Because obviously Trump is not president anymore. I wish I could have released this video back when the Trump hate was at its highest, right? And I never understood why people, especially rappers, didn't like Donald Trump when history tells us that we had a very quote-unquote cordial relationship with Donald Trump all the way back to, you know, as you can see, the 90s and I think even before then. And this is a prime example of what Kwame Brown might call the get along game, because like everybody hates Donald Trump but they really don't know why they hate Donald Trump. They say racist, which is every white person in my opinion is racist, but that's a story for another day, right? And it's like we were so desperate, we were so furious and determined, right, to get Donald Trump out of the office. Like, he got to go. Donald Trump just got to go. Get Biden in. And it's been about 200 days and Biden hadn't did not one thing for black people. I'm just saying. I digress. It's a video for another day. Now, look, the history of Donald Trump and hip-hop in general was a good history up until, you know what I'm saying? So somehow I stumbled across this clip. It's about a year old, so the clip is very old. I want y'all to just take this journey with me to figure out why the hell everybody really hates Donald Trump, especially in the hip hop community. I want to know why he's hated so much, because I feel like when they tell you to like somebody so much, like this person, you need to go the other way. And the same thing about hating. Somebody can tell you this person is bad, I tend to go the other way. So let's get it started.
And in the last few years, a lot of rappers have changed their views too.
Trump win, I'm flying up to saw you. All this bullshit make my blood boil. Obama just wasn't enough, I need some more closure. And Donald Trump is not equipped to take this country over. I'm about to turn Black Panther. Don't let Donald Trump win and cancer.
A lot of this can be explained by his divisive politics. We certainly know more about them now than we did back then. But before his run at the presidency, Trump wasn't just liked, he was revered by hip-hop. So what's behind Donald Trump's meteoric rise and fall from hip-hop grace? It all starts back in the 90s.
I'm 40 and I remember when, you know, hip-hop, Black America was extremely conscious, you know, and it reflected in everything that we were doing. It reflected in the music when you had, you know, the Public Enemies and the KRS-Ones, and, you know, you had the brothers walking around with the Malcolm X hats and the African medallions. So we were focused on consciousness, you know, we were focused on spirituality.
If you need to know anything about hip-hop, talk to Charlemagne the God. He's the co-host of The
Let me
Breakfast
hop
Club.
in here real quick, man. I agree with this documentary or expose or whatever kind of video this is so far, but don't insult us like that, NBC, and tell us that if we want to know about hip-hop, listen to Charlemagne the God. Come on, man, y'all going too far.
Charlemagne the God. He's the co-host of The Breakfast Club. He's an author, and there's probably not an MC alive who he hasn't interviewed.
You don't need to meet with Trump. You yay.
Anyway, after the conscious era of hip-hop, things started to change.
But then hip-hop became about capitalism. You know, people started making money in hip-hop. So when you start making money in hip-hop, your idols change. And too many really rich black folks. So here in America, the people that they looked up to who had the money We're the Donald Trumps of the world.
Okay, I get that there weren't too many black billionaires in America quite yet, but Trump certainly wasn't the only rich white guy around. Where were all the songs about Bill Gates or Warren Buffett?
I think pre-presidency to Donald Trump that the hip-hop culture was recognizing was the hustler aspect of him, the entrepreneur side of him, the wealthy side of him. You know, when you riding by and you see in the buildings with the names, that's something that a young man can admire.
Rick Ross has been cranking out hits since Hustler. And I think what he's getting at here is that hip-hop admired Trump's opulence. Just like Ricky Rose keeps his signature Maybach catchphrase around his neck, Trump put his name on buildings, in particular buildings in New York City. Let's start at least 10, 15 years ago. Some of the artists that have mentioned him, like a Raekwon has mentioned him, a Busta Rhymes has mentioned him, you know, an LL Cool J. What point of view were those guys coming from when speaking about Trump way pre-presidency?
Even those three rappers you mentioned, they're all New York guys. And Trump is a New York...
I want to jump in and say that I wholeheartedly agree with that. Trump was a New York guy, which is probably why all the New York MCs had so much respect for Donald Trump. But it still doesn't explain the rest of the region.
Guy. And so hip-hop resonates with New York things.
Shad's a rapper too.
Damn, it feels good to be back. Damn, it feels good to be black.
And he also studies rap culture for a living. He's the host of Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix.
Hip-hop likes New York stuff, and so I think he resonated with hip-hop in that way, but also just the way that he represented capitalism in its kind of rawest, ugliest form, which hip-hop has always kind of put a mirror up to as well.
And Shad says the hip-hop community began to change its tune on Trump even before he ran for president.
I think it shifted from, again, Trump, this character, this caricature of Wall Street, corporate greed, excess, to, you know, suddenly we get the birther movement. It's like, what's that about? You know, aligning with extreme right-wing white supremacist conspiracy views.
Has any artist come here to the Breakfast Club and rescinded maybe shouting him out, showing him love, spending time with him, and put him under?
Yeah, Grace Murmur, you know, with the Up Like Trump record.
Do y'all regret doing the record Up Like Trump?
No. Hey, we spoke that up.
No.
For real. I don't.
Do y'all still perform it?
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
well,
sometimes.
But you know what we say?
Donald 1, 2, 3.
Trump.
And everybody screaming out. Everybody screaming out, then we dropped it.
I also think there's another thing that goes on that's happening here that we're kind of talking about, which is a generational divide around aligning with power in order to make change, which also I think is part of the backlash to Trump, because that whole model of success that 50 Cent loved and Jay-Z loved and we all celebrated in hip-hop is also starting to be questioned with the rise of Black Lives Matter movement, with the celebration of what Colin Kaepernick is doing. There's actually this embrace of like, maybe we need to not gain wealth and power and align with wealth and power in order to make change, but actually do something completely different and revolutionary.
Kanye West is one person in the community that has kind of put his second foot down and said, no, this is how I feel, this is what I support.
My father's a Black Panther. My mother got arrested for the sit-ins at age 6. They were fighting for us to have the right to our opinion, not the right to vote for whoever the white liberals said Black people are supposed to vote for.
Kanye, to me, kind of has that older mindset. You know, he's talked about he wants to run $1 trillion company, whereas a lot of us in hip-hop that are very younger are kind of going, we just don't agree with those values so much anymore. We kind of are inspired by the Bernie Sanders mentality of maybe we shouldn't have billionaires, let alone trillionaires. As a guy that grew up on Kanye, you know, I love Kanye. I want to love Kanye. And on one hand, I understand his passion for free thinking, maybe even carving out space for Black people to disagree about politics and not just be kind of uniform in our thinking. That being said, I don't think you even have to go further than the birther movement stuff with Trump to just draw a line.
You say, you know, I'm glad Donald Trump became the president because we got to destroy before we elevate. What do you mean when you say that?
It most definitely was like, yo, if he's in office now, let's see how he handle it. And if he destroy it, I'm pretty sure he'll tear it all down and we'll have to start all over.
I'm not voting for you just because you're, you know, a Democrat or you're anti-Trump, like what are you specifically going to do for black people? You know, what is your black agenda?
The rest of the world is kind of stunned. Like, Trump is an anomaly. This is a guy who is primarily an entertainer and a guy that represented values, a lot of which are like greed and things that are generally perceived as negative, you know, in the most powerful position in the world. He's an anomaly.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.